Namaste, namaste, and welcome to our very first session of the new year 2026. Happy New Year to everybody. Today, this term, in fact, we're focusing on elements of compassion, creating an inner sense of peace so that we can project peace out into the world, and also just looking after our sense of patience, tolerance, kindness, those sorts of things towards ourselves and towards others. It's a great time of the year to focus on those things because in the wintertime, the energetic channels that we work with are on the front and the back of the body. So it's lots of forwards and backwards bending movements, which also allow us to move through our heart centers very effectively. Today, we will be working on our feet. So I've got a couple of blocks here to do a supported standing forward bend and also a brick to stand on because we're going to do some movements with the legs as well. But for now, up on a bolster or a similar seat, you can sit in a chair. We're just going to do a moment of centering and focus inwards. So if you wish to hold a mudra with your hands, you can bring the first thumb and fingertip together and extend the other fingers. This is called chin or yana mudra, and we can rest it wherever it's comfortable. Think about creating a sense of lift through the body so that the body feels spacious behind and in front. And then if you wish to close your eyes, you can. But of course, if you simply wish to gaze gently downward, you can do that also. Take this moment to move your awareness around your body. Notice how your body feels right now. Notice any areas of stiffness, tension, or perhaps discomfort. Remembering to work compassionately with those areas throughout our practice. Notice at least one part of the body that feels spacious, peaceful, and at ease. Allow that sense of ease to ripple out from wherever it's centered, softening tension away from the body as it moves, drawing you back towards your calm center, that space of tranquility. Move your awareness to your breath and just notice your breath in this moment. Notice if you're able to breathe without controlling the breath, and it's okay if that's not possible. We are simply observers. When you're ready, if you would like to, invite your breath to deepen. As you breathe in, think about expanding the space of the breath into the front, the back, and the sides of the body. As you breathe out, you may enjoy just a gentle lift in the belly muscles to exhale a bit more than you normally would be able to. Breathing deeply into the sides of the body, the back, the chest. And a long, slow exhalation, perhaps engaging across the navel to exhale fully. Breathing deeply in to the rib cage, the collarbones, the shoulder blades. And a long, slow breath out, engaging across your navel to exhale fully. Keep your breath going in a rhythm that suits you. This big expansion into the space around you. At the end of your next exhalation, just allowing your breath to fall into its natural rhythm. Feeling ourselves charged up with prana, ready for our practice. We are going to relax the fingers, maybe roll the wrists briefly, and gently draw the chin towards the chest. From here, we can roll the right ear towards the right shoulder. We don't need to go all the way. Just begin exploring in that direction. Draw the chin back towards the chest, and then the left ear towards the left shoulder. Again, you don't have to go as far as you're able to. Chin to chest. As you repeat this movement from side to side, noticing how it feels in the body. Noticing the connections between the movement of your body and the sensations across the shoulders, the chest, the neck, the jaw, the scalp, the back. Perhaps exploring a little bit more into the range of movement that feels comfortable. We are looking for that sense of ease, that peacefulness in our movement, no forcing, no judgment. If you're able to gently lift your chin a little at the sides, then exploring that. And if that doesn't come naturally, just practicing in your place of peace. One more time to each side. Nice and slowly. As your chin comes back towards the chest, resting it there, taking a gentle smile and lifting the head upright. Just blinking the eyes open if they've been closed and noticing how it feels to have the head now again in that upright position. Little roll of the shoulders. Nothing fancy, just an easing of any tension that we might have found in our journey. Let's roll the other way as well. Sometimes we're not even aware of holding that effort or tension unless we move something and then come back to center. And then when you're ready, you can relax your arms again. We'll take the bottom teeth over the top teeth, lift the chin forwards and up, finding that sense of lift through the front of the neck, holding but breathing. And then gently releasing back down to center, relax the jaw. And for most of us, we like to go back down, chin to chest, give ourselves a gentle smile, and then roll back to the upright position. Perfect. So from here, we're going to take our hands onto our shoulders and just make some elbow circles. So we're trying to find that real sense of embodied practice. So we want to feel our way into the practice. If it feels good, just roll the elbows here at the sides of the body. You might want to stick with this. If you want to bring the elbows a little closer together to expand that circling, if that feels good in your body, that's what we're looking for. Doing a few of these, and you can coordinate with your breath if you wish to, breathing in on the way up, breathing out on the way down. Try, if you can, not to compensate by dropping the head forward, keeping the crown of the head lifted as much as feels good. Let's do one more. We're going to take a moment to relax the arms down to the sides. Just wriggle through the shoulders. Right hand onto right thigh or onto the floor if you easily reach, and lifting the left arm up and over. We'll do the same thing to the other side. So we're again beginning to explore side bending. We don't have to go as far as it's possible to go. We're just looking for that sense of movement, perhaps in a different way than we've been doing so far this day or this year. Who knows? Let's do one more to each side. Just a gentle sense of length. We're going to come to doing some more of these sideways movements in our practice. And then when you're ready, we're going to reach both arms up, open through the front of the body by lifting the chin, breathing in here, and then breathing out, just floating the arms down to the sides. Little wriggle through the shoulders, fingertips onto the shoulders or towards the shoulders, and then we're rolling the elbows in the opposite direction. So if you don't remember which direction you were rolling in, I always start going forwards and up, but I'm going backwards and up now. Then you can do what feels natural first and then do the reverse, because generally that's what we would always choose to do, the natural feeling movement first. And then if you would like to make those circles a little bit bigger, you can begin to draw the elbows towards each other in front of the body and draw the elbows behind the body a little if you can, trying to keep that sense of length through the neck. And if you wish to, breathing in as the elbows go up and breathing out as the elbows come down. And here we're giving ourselves a little self-massage. It's really, really nice to do. Let's do one more. We're going to finish by taking the arms nice and wide and then wrapping the arms around us to give ourselves a big hug. Let the elbows fall onto the chest. A couple of deeper breaths in this hugged position, taking the opportunity to feel the warmth of your hands on your body. Feel that sense of comfort that comes from touch. And then we'll reach the arms wide. We're going to swap the arms over. So taking the arms wide and then swapping to the opposite side. Hugging onto ourselves. Letting the elbows relax. Just a couple of deeper breaths. We want to feel that sense of being safe and secure. And as a result of that, calm, relaxed. We can let go of stress. We can be at peace. We're going to reach the arms wide one more time and then bend at the elbows so that the palms are facing forwards. We can draw the shoulder blades towards each other if that feels good. Maybe just give a little wriggle across the upper back and then pressing down into the floor and lifting up into the crown of the head. We'll gently twist from one side to the other. And it can be really slow if you prefer. We're trying not to move our hands or arms. So we're not leading by taking one arm across the body. We're leaving the arms set at the sides of the body, simply twisting, using our energy, our force, our power from within. Let's do one more to each side. And then from here, we're going to breathe in to reach all the way up. Let the arms come down as we breathe out, and we might take just a little forward bend. So reaching the hands forward, just a gentle sway of the shoulders from side to side. If you wish to come down a little bit lower, you can, but there's no obligation. And then when you're ready, you can come all the way up. We're going to free the legs, the feet, from wherever they were. So if you've been kneeling or sitting in a chair, you can do the same thing. If you want to join us down on the floor now, you can. And I'm just going to pop my bolster all the way out of the way because I don't need it for a wee while. So I'm just leaning back onto my hands a little bit, but you can sit further up if you'd like to. Start with a little softness across the knees and just rolling the ankles. So here I'm pivoting on the heels of the feet so that my knees roll in and out as my ankles roll. And then we can go the opposite way as well. So we're preparing our legs for standing on, but because we were sitting, and many of you would have been sitting cross-legged, it's really nice to awaken the legs before we then sort of expect them to do balancing and all sorts of other bits and pieces. And when you're ready, you can bend your knees and gently sway the knees from side to side. Again, leaning back onto the hands if you'd like to. And again, this is just moving the hips in a slightly different way than we've been used to. For those who are comfortable, you can sit more upright to move the knees like this. There's no obligation. Do the thing that feels best for your body in this moment. Makes you feel the most amount of comfort, ease, peace. Let's do one more to each side. Very nice. And then we come up into standing, and we can get there any way that we like. So if you just want to come onto your knees and step forward, you can. If you would like to do it a different way, go right ahead. I'm just waiting for everyone to get there here on the screen. And when you come to an upright position, we'll take a moment just to reorientate ourselves with gravity. So feet can be any position you like. We're going to reach the fingertips down, reach the crown of the head up, take a couple of deeper breaths, maybe a sigh out through the mouth. Fantastic. And now that we feel our feet on the floor, we can step them a little bit further apart. Before our class started, I recorded a short video of movements that are quite dynamic, designed to energize and to work with the flow, the energy of winter as well, but to work to make a little bit of heat in our bodies, to get rid of any tension from sitting or being still, which we tend to do a bit more of. And so we're going to do some of those practices now to really get us invigorated before we come to doing some posture work. So we've got the feet nice and wide apart. You can guess what's coming next. We're going to soften our knees, a little bit of lift in the belly muscles, and gently twist from side to side. And we want to allow the arms to stay quite low. It is the season, so we're working with energy of the bladder and kidneys. So as the arms wrap around the body, perhaps your back hand will tap around the bottom of the rib cage, perhaps across the lower back area. And your front hand can go wherever it feels good. But by tapping in this sort of low abdomen area, we work with a gentle stimulating of those organs of the season. Keeping the arms nice and relaxed and loose. And if you don't like turning your head from side to side, just keeping it centered. At the moment, we're quite grounded. So we've got the feet nice and steady, but noticing the movement across the soles of the feet from the movement of our bodies. So you might notice the way that the weight of the body rolls across the foot, the ankle perhaps moves a little to compensate. Maybe the skin on the soles of the feet just gets a little twisted and released as well. See if you can tap into some of those sensations. Notice, observe. And we're trying to do all of this without judgment. So without vilifying ourselves for not being able to do it a certain way, or feeling that we maybe should have done more over the holidays, or any of those things. And everybody feels that way sometimes. If you wish to, you can then move your feet as you move. So a little gentle lift of the heel or pivot onto the toe. And some people prefer not to do that. That's okay. Keep the feet centered. Go for it. We're still keeping the arms nice and relaxed, still wrapping around the low part of the body, tapping where they fall. And then if you wish to, add a little soft bounce in the knees, a bounce and twist, bounce and twist. Remember, you can, I don't know what I was going to say. We're going to lift in the belly muscles. Who knows? It completely escaped me just then. I should obviously be more concentrating myself. We can touch the opposite shoulder in front of us, or the opposite side of the chest in front of us, but keep the back hand nice and low, just connecting into another point on the kidney meridian there. I remember what I was going to say. I was going to say you can slow your movement down to compensate for the extra coordination. There we are. So whenever you're ready, we are going to come back towards center. We're losing the bounce, simply pivoting, and then we're going to bring the feet to stillness and sway slowly back to center to organize ourselves upright on our feet for a deep breath in and a sigh out. Brilliant. Fantastic. Thanks for bearing with me, guys. I know that you manage it magnanimously. So we're going to do a little bit more movement for the front and the back of the body. And because we're upstanding or standing up, we can do this as expressively as it feels good to do. So I would advise starting gently and working your way up. So we're going to start with the feet a nice comfortable distance apart, not too wide, but giving yourself a really stable base. And as you breathe in, we're going to take the arms out and up. And as you breathe out, just bending at the knees and hinging at the hips to reach the arms back. So we're breathing in and out, in and out. We're letting the hips do the work. And as we're moving with the hips, we might want to firm the feet, firm the pelvic floor and the belly muscles to have that sense of support. So we don't feel vulnerable as we do the movement. We're feeling quite strong, centered, secure, and safe. Of course, if your movement needs to be a little faster or slower to coordinate with your breath, or if you prefer just to breathe and move in an uncoordinated way, go for it. For those who feel fancy, you can come up onto your tiptoes as you lift the arms. Woo! It takes a little bit more balance, perhaps using a point of focus as you lift the arms up. Woo! We're going to do 3 more of whatever version you're doing. And then finish by breathing in to stand tall, reach the arms away from you, breathing out to float the arms down to the side. Take a moment to stand in stillness. Hopefully your feet will feel really firmly connected. And then we'll take another breath in and sigh out. Awesome sauce, guys. Aces. So from here, we're going to do, there's so many lovely things to do. We are going to do a little side-to-side movement. So we've done this lovely front and back, and we're going to do, like when we do Kati Chakrasana, we take it to the side, but we've obviously individualized now those movements. So we're going to reach the arms to the left and point our right toes to the right. And the same to the other side. A little soft in the knees in between, so we get this sort of bouncing motion. It's really easy. If you can, keep your arms either side of your chest. So not in front of the body if you can avoid it. So we're still having that sense of opening every time. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. If you wish to, breathe in on one side and out on the other. Absolutely fine. Lovely motion. For those who feel fancy, you can step the pointed toe back behind you instead of out to the side. So you get a sense of forward bending as you bend, opening into a back bend as you lift the arms up. And allowing your coordination to make the movement whatever it needs to be for you. If you'd like to, you can float that back foot off the floor. So we get that real sense of opening through the front of the body and engaging the back of the body, some of those muscles that don't see a lot of love during a normal day. Let's do 1 more to each side. And then we're going to finish by letting the arms come down to the sides, perhaps firming the feet back into the floor to stand tall as we breathe in and sigh out. Lovely job. Give your shoulders a little roll. Very nice. And then from here, we're going to go back into those forwards and backwards movements, but with the upper body. So when we were doing our movements before, we were letting the hips move and we were keeping the spine nice and long. This time, we're going to open the chest as we breathe in and then round through the upper back, drawing the backs of the hands and the chin towards each other, chin towards chest, bending the knees so we round through the whole body. Breathing in to stand tall, gliding the elbows back. Breathing out to round through the back of the body, chin to chest. Breathing in. Breathing out. Feel your way into the sensation of the movement. Maybe lifting the chin a little as you breathe in. Let's do 2 more. We're going to finish by breathing in to stand tall, reaching the arms wide, breathing out to float the arms down to the side. Take another deep breath in. Sigh out. Awesome. Give your shoulders a little roll. Fantastic stuff. So we've got a few more movements to do here in this sort of dynamic structure. But if anything, if you want to add anything to it when you're practicing on your own, you can. If you feel that there's a movement missing, then go for it. Right now, we're going to stand really tall, reaching the arms quite wide. They don't need to be high, so they can be a little bit more relaxed for the shoulders here. Reaching the arms quite wide, and we're going to bring the right knee up in front of us and tap the hands to either side of the knee, and then step onto both feet, and then tap either side of the left knee. So we're going to breathe in as we open, breathing out as we tap, breathe in as we open, breathing out as we tap. Out, breathing in, breathing out. Keeping a nice upright position otherwise. If you feel that you need to round your shoulders forward, you absolutely can do that. If you can do this without doing it, and it feels better for you, go for it. Doesn't really matter here. And if it's a little bit high to lift your knee all the way up, you can simply tap to the top of your thigh, lifting your leg a little less high. Do what feels right in your body. It's really good practice to move the weight from one foot to another. And it helps sometimes to have a point of focus ahead of you. Doesn't need to be at eye level, but it could perhaps be on the floor, but a long way ahead, so you're not having to drop your chin down to see it. And you can make the movement as slow as you like. We're going to do 1 more to each side. And then step onto both feet. Stand really tall to breathe in. Sigh out. Very nice. So hopefully you can feel the stimulation around the knees, which is lovely. The knees are one of those joints that the winter is unkind to because they have such poor circulation. But we can help with our yoga practice. So we're going to come to standing with the feet nice and wide apart, toes as turned out as your knees need, by which I mean that when you bend your knees, we want to make sure that the knees are tracking over the feet, that you haven't got the toes pointing forwards and the knees pointing out or vice versa. So we just have that sense of tracking. We're going to start with breathing in to lift the arms up, long legs, breathing out to bend the knees and bring the arms down. Breathing in and up, breathing out and down. Breathing in and up, breathing out and down. Just keep it going. If you want to bend a little less, you absolutely can. Keep thinking about pressing into your feet. And if you'd like to, you can keep the back nice and upright. And if you prefer a little forward bend with this, that's okay. Breathing in and up, breathing out and down, in and up, out and down. I like to do a little bit of alternating the cross of my arms, but you can do whatever comes naturally to you. I'm going to do 2 more of these. Finish by breathing in to come up and breathing out to float the arms down to your side. Take a deep breath in and a sigh out. Very nice. So we're going to come to holding the horse stance or goddess squat, as the case may be. And we do this by really firming our buttock muscles so that when we bend the knees, we're using our behinds to open the knees outwards. And we feel really engaged there. You can, if you like, just tap on your butt a few times to make sure it feels like it's active. Again, you can be as deep in the squat or as shallow in the squat as you like. If you prefer to do it without bending the knees at all or sitting on a chair, you can do that too. We are going to feel that firmness in the low body and then gently reach over to the right with the left arm, back to the center, and over to the left with the right arm, and back to center. If you can, as you reach over, just looking underneath your arm, and that helps you to know that you're reaching sideways and not forwards, that we want to avoid. So a little firm across the belly muscles to keep that sense of support. If you feel your legs tiring, take a break. Come back into it if you like. If you wish to, just do a little shallower squat. We'll do 1 more to each side. And then we're going to come back to the center, lengthen the legs, take a deep breath in, and sigh out. Very nice. We're going to come back into the squat to do different movements of the arms. That's exciting. So, again, feeling that sense of firm, we're going to bring the palms together at the center of the chest, roll the shoulders back and down to have that sense of lift. Bending at the knees as deeply as you like, breathing in the center. As you breathe out, twist to your right. Breathing into center, knees stay bent. Breathing out, twist to the left. Breathing into center, breathing out as we twist. Breathing into center, breathing out as we twist. Let's do a few more to each side. We're aiming to do 5 to each side if we can, but remember, we've got a few more of these things to do, or at least I can tell you we've got a few more of these things to do. So if you feel you need a rest, take a rest. Remember, the next time you come to the practice, you will be able to do more. Last one to the left. You're going to come to the center, press into the feet to stand tall, take a deep breath in. Sigh out. Very nice. Give your hips a little wiggle if they need a little wiggle. And if you need time with your feet pointing straight and doing perhaps a few hip circles, you can absolutely do that too. Doesn't matter. And you can actually do these practices with the knees more straight if you want to. That's not a problem. Slightly different type of squatting, but it's still good. We're going to turn the feet out. If you want to, 1 more time, bring the hands to the center of the chest as we bend the knees. Then we're going to take the arms nice and wide. We're going to turn the left palm upwards and the right palm backwards, and then alternate from side to side. So a little roll through the arms and the shoulders here. If you wish to, you can look to your left as the palm turns up, then look to the right as the palm turns up. So some people like to do this as well. And you can move more of your upper body from side to side. A little twist if you like, or you can stay very centered, just rolling through the shoulders. Some of it depends on the flexibility, the movement you have across these joints. Lovely. Let's hold for 2 more to each side. And then lengthening the legs as we breathe in, releasing the arms down as we breathe out, turning the toes forward, and then just heel toeing back to center. Should feel quite nice to bring the legs back to center. I'm going to stand tall as we breathe in and sigh out. Brilliant stuff. Aces, give your legs a little shake out. Hopefully they're not feeling too tired, but just the right kind of energized. So from here, we're going to come down to the mat. We're actually going to go up and down a little bit, which I normally don't like to do, but today we're going to do it. So we're going to come down to the mat, and we are just going to come into normal hands and knees, but we're going to have our blocks ready so that we can also use those for a little forward bending in a moment. So we take our hands down to the floor. I've got a right wrist that's not behaving at the moment, so I'm going to do cupcake hands, fingertips onto the floor. You can have your palms flat if you prefer, or on fists, which I might change to a little bit later as well. So thinking about creating length in the spine to begin with, that sense of length at the back of the neck, and just roll in the shoulders. So we're moving only in the shoulders as we roll in one direction and then the other. Very nice. And then coming to the center, we're going to do a little bit of cat-cow. So inhaling to look forward and lift the chest and glide the shoulder blades down. Exhaling to round through the spine, scoop the belly in and tuck the chin towards the chest. You can move as mindfully as you feel comfortable doing. Try not to do this in a robotic way. Feel your way into the sensations that are happening across your body as a result of the movement. So I find that here, as I tuck my chin towards my chest to get a beautiful sense of length across the back of the neck, and with my belly muscles engaged, I get a lovely gentle pull across the belly muscles as I lengthen the front of the body. And because I've got quite a lot of scar tissue across my low abdomen, that feels really nice. Feels like it's releasing tension that I hold there. And you could have completely different sensations. And that's still good. We'll do one more of these. And then from here, we're going to take a child's pose. Now, you might like to bring your toes together and take your knees wide and bring your forehead down to the floor, keeping the arms stretched in front of you. This is a lovely practice to bring the heart close to the floor. It feels quite supportive, but it can be a little bit stretchy or open underneath the arms for some folks. And if that's the case, then just bringing your knees closer together and reaching your arms back down to the sides of the feet. As long as your head is touching something, it doesn't matter. It could be your folded arms, it could be a block. Everyone who's here practicing live knows which variation of child's pose suits them best. So just taking the one that feels the best to you in this moment. A couple of deeper breaths, trying to find a little softness across the forehead, perhaps around the mouth, the tongue, and the jaw. I'm going to take one more deep breath in and sigh gently out. And then from here, we're coming down to lying on our bellies. So just moving anything you need to move out of the way. We can relax first with the forehead on the back of the hands. Toes can be turned inwards and heels turning outwards. Or if you prefer, you can turn your feet out and have your legs a little bit wider. So whatever suits you in this moment. I quite like this pose, but actually right now I'm feeling the toes turning inwards is a little bit more peaceful in my body. If you'd like to, you can do a gentle wiggle of the hips from side to side. Remember, we're trying to find a way to release tension so that we can bring ourselves back to that sense of centered peacefulness. So if wiggling the hips doesn't offer you anything, you don't need to do it. And that applies to any of the practices in this part of the class. Take one more deep breath in, maybe sighing out, or maybe just a gentle exhale. You can bring the thighs towards each other, press the tops of the feet down, and just slide the elbows underneath the shoulders so that we open into Sphinx pose. And here, excuse me, we're pressing down into the palms of the hands and the elbows so that instead of being collapsed in the shoulders, shoulders up around the ears, we are providing space to open the chest into. And explore with your neck how the position of your head. So you might like to lift your chin a little, but maybe not too much. You might prefer to gaze gently downward between the hands. Check that your head is not moving forward, that you're still engaged in the back of the neck. We're going to firm the buttocks, press the pubic bone down. Just see if that helps us to feel more at ease in our low backs. Little lift in the belly sometimes helps here too. And then taking the opportunity for some nice deep breaths. When you're ready, you can gently take the weight onto the palms of the hands and just see if you can lift a little higher by taking the elbows off the floor. If that doesn't work, stay on the elbows. It's not a problem at all. We're just creating this additional sense of lift, really firm in the buttocks and the belly muscles and the legs. And then gently elbows to the floor, easing the elbows out of the way, forehead to the back of the hands, toes perhaps turned inwards, heels perhaps turned outwards, a little rock of the hips from side to side. Then from here, we're going to take the hands underneath the shoulders. We're going to roll the shoulder blades towards each other. Again, bringing the thighs towards each other, pressing the pubic bone down, feeling that sense of length in the low back. Engage the buttocks to anchor that space. And then gently pressing into the hands to roll up into cobra pose. Want to keep the elbows bent and quite close to the body. So we draw the shoulder blades towards each other to open the chest. There's that lift in the belly muscles. We want to avoid lifting in the shoulders too much here. It just creates tension across the upper back. So if you can, pressing down. You don't need to be high. You can be quite low with this. We're going to come all the way down to the floor and we're going to go up and down 4 more times. So firm in the belly, pressing up as you breathe in and breathing out to release all the way down. Pressing up to breathe in. Breathing out all the way down. Let's do 2 more. Breathing in, breathing out. Last one. Breathing in, breathing out. And then here, just taking a moment, forehead on the back of the hands, toes turn slightly in, heels turn slightly out for that wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Or just a softening breath. You might like one with your breath side out or just a relaxed and gentle sigh. And then from here, we are going to take our hands underneath the shoulders, come back onto hands and knees. Maybe bring yourself a little further forward. I'm looking to reach for those blocks, so I want to make sure the blocks are to hand. And then we're going to tuck the toes under. If you need to come up a different way, do that. But if you can, tuck your toes under and just find yourself in this little crouching squat. We want to bring our torsos really close to the thighs so that we can bring the chin towards the chest and have this little just rounded moment. It's like a child's pose, but on your tiptoes. You can even, for those who feel comfortable and balanced, hug your thighs or your knees as you keep your chin a little bit down. You might need a point of focus on the floor ahead of you. That's fine. A couple of deeper breaths. And then we're going to release the fingertips down to the floor and lengthen the legs. We can reach for our blocks. So we come into a little nice bent knee forward bend. So we're not aiming to touch the toes here. You can be very much higher up, even on the fingertips on the blocks if you wish. And you can use a table or a chair if you prefer to be a little bit higher up still. We're keeping the knees soft enough that there's no strain in the back of the body. Little scoop in of the belly muscles. And then we're gently relaxing the back of the neck as well as we lengthen one leg and then the other. One leg and then the other. See if you can keep all of the toes on the floor at the same time. I have a tendency to lift my toes as my leg lengthens. As we do this, feel that gentle sway of the hips from side to side. We're really massaging that space in the back of the body across the backs of the kidneys. Lovely job. When you're ready, you can come to the center and drape yourself forward, maybe reaching for the floor if it feels good to do that. There's still no need to have the legs lengthened. We can relax the back of the neck, maybe even hold elbow to elbow. And for those who enjoy it, you could sway your shoulders and head just moving with the shoulders from side to side, shoulders and chest. Again, if you prefer, no movement, just staying in the center and breathing. We're all going to come back to the center anyway to relax the hands down, relax the back of the neck for a gentle nod, and a gentle turn from side to side. And then we are going to bend the knees deeply and look forwards. Reach the arms out to the side. Feel your upper back suddenly engaging and strong. Drop your bottom, press through the legs to stand all the way tall. And as you come up to standing, if you need to, take a moment here, palms together at the center of the chest. And if you prefer, you can breathe in to take the arms around the body and up. And then breathe out to bring the palms down to the center of the chest. Relax your arms to your sides. Feel this different orientation with gravity. Take a moment to arrive here, to land here, to feel that body organize itself into that upright position. Brilliant. Okay, we're going to pop these blocks to one side, but I'm going to grab a little brick and the support of something. So you can do this absolutely freestanding. It's not a problem at all. But if you've got the support of the back of a chair, one of our students has a coombe ceiling, so actually touching a bit of ceiling is perfect here as well. We can stand ourselves on the block so that the leg nearest our support is on the block and the other leg is free to move. We want to support ourselves with a fingertip touch or even a back of the hand touch. We're not trying to grip anything. We're trying to do as much as we can with our bodies rather than without, or rather than mindlessly. But at the same time, we don't want to fight for balance. So a little bit of balancing is fine, but not fighting for balance. The leg we're standing on, we want it to be right underneath our hips. So I'm just actually going to move my block a little bit closer to the wall so I don't have to lean towards the wall to reach it. We're lifting really tall, trying to find that sense of length in the body. And then this outside leg is just going to swing. And it doesn't really matter what it does to begin with. It's just swinging. There's no exact shape. You don't have to get too bogged down into the minutiae of the movement. As you feel more comfortable, you might like to point the toes forward and flex the heel backwards as you feel perhaps a little larger range of movement. We might even lift a little bit higher still. We're trying to keep the body upright as we work so that the upper body is really strong to maintain its uprightness, resisting the urge to move. And this is how we train stability through our core. Lovely stuff. We could do this for a long time. We're going to pause here for a moment just dangle that leg, and then think about lifting the outside hip up and lowering the outside hip down. If you flex your foot, you're trying to keep that leg straight and shift the whole leg up away from the floor, and then the whole leg down towards the floor. It's called hip hiking, up and down. A little lift through the belly muscles is good. And again, that fingertip touch on the wall, thinking about keeping the standing leg hip over the standing leg foot. Let's do one more here. And then we're going to step onto both feet on the floor, just taking an opportunity to feel the difference between the two sides of the body. And it's quite demanding in its own way. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm just shifting my block because I need a little bit more space. And so we want to turn around in our space so that we still have the standing leg as the one nearest the support, so that we don't have to compensate by moving the body in a different way. We want it to feel similar on both sides. Fingertip touch on the wall or back of the hand if you can, or whatever your support is. And just start with that really nice sense of lift in the body as we swing the leg. And we're not trying to do anything spectacular with it right now. We're actually using the weight of the leg to provide a little bit of traction across the hip joint so that we begin to ease any tension we're holding there. Then once you get going, you might like a little point of the toes forwards and a flex of the heel backwards. We need to use the strength of our upper body to maintain that uprightness. And then if you wish to, you can move a little bit more. You can do anything you like with your outside hand. I like to use it for a bit of balance. It sort of helps me move. I feel like we did this quite a lot on the outside. So we'll do a few more. And then we're going to bring the legs back to center. Flex that outside leg foot. And we're lowering the foot down towards the floor, keeping the leg straight as we hike the whole leg up. So up and down. It's really nice movement for the body. You can feel it all across the low back, and that space, energetic space across the kidneys is being moved as well. Lovely job. Let's do one more. We're going to step onto both feet, just taking a moment. Really nice to drop back into the feet again. All good. Okay, so we're still using our blocks. And this time, if you've got a spongier block, so I've got two different kinds of blocks here. This one's really quite hard and firm, and my spongy block has a little bit of give to it. So if you have the option to use a spongier block, then you can place that one down on the floor. So this time we can get up onto the block by using the wall for support, and you'll notice it, if you're using a spongier block, you'll notice it feels differently under your foot. There's a sense of trying to hold on to the movement a little bit more. Your leg has to work a little bit harder here. And we are going to use our outside arm to press into the side of our heads at the same time as we press the head into that arm. And then with our hand next to the wall, you can hold on for support if you need to. And with the outside leg, we're just going to make some nice hip circles. So we're creating stability by pressing the head into the hands. We're creating instability under the standing leg. We can hold onto the wall if needed, but if you can do it without, then doing it without. And then we're going to circle the opposite way as well. This one is a tough one. You're actually retraining your neural pathways. We're going to do one more. And then step onto both feet, just relaxing the hands down, giving yourself a little jiggle. So you can do a very similar thing, which we can try again as well. So standing onto the same leg on the block. Again, pressing into the head here, but this time we're going to gently move the whole body forwards and backwards. We're using that outside leg like a pendulum, going backwards and forwards. It requires quite a bit of concentration. Don't worry too much about how many movements you're making. Just breathe as it feels comfortable to do. We're aiming to do about 5 of these, so I think one more. They require a bit more focus. You can always hold on to your wall. When you're ready, stepping onto both feet, taking a moment just to feel the effect of that in your body. Soften off any tension. Take a deep breath in, sighing out. Awesome sauce. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So finding that if you've got it, softer block just makes the difference when we're doing this practice. We're going to press that dangling leg, that same hand, into the side of our head, pressing the head into it at the same time, and then we're moving the outside leg in nice big circles. They don't have to be big, but it's great if they are. If you can do it without support, without holding onto the wall, that's great. If you can't, hold onto the wall. It's not a problem at all. Maybe a fingertip touch, going in the opposite direction whenever you're ready. There's such a lot going on here at the same time. It's okay to lose your balance. This is my less bouncy leg. When you're ready, stepping onto both feet, just taking a moment, wriggling out anything that needs wriggling out, taking a deep breath in, sighing out. And then our final practice, I promise this is it. Then we're winding down, releasing any tension and moving towards relaxation eventually. So we're standing up, we're pressing the outside hand into the head again, and then we're lengthening that outside leg and just penduluming backwards and forwards, but the whole body moves now. So the whole body moving forwards and backwards with our swinging leg, a fingertip touch on the wall if you need it, really working firmly in those core stabilizing muscles. I think we've got 2 more to do. Feels like many more on this side because it's a bit harder. And laughing doesn't help. When you're ready, stepping onto both feet. A little sense of lift as we breathe in, letting go as we breathe out. Shake out the legs. I hope in the course of doing some of these more peculiar practices, you can find that sense of joy within as well. It's very lovely to tap into a childlike sense of joy when you're trying to find some peace. Okie dokie. So just rolling through the shoulders, we can move the blocks out of the way. I feel like I want to release a little bit across my shoulders themselves. So I'm going to dangle one arm at a time. So stepping forward onto the right foot, just getting a nice softness across the knees. I'm going to shift the hips backwards, right hand onto right thigh, and dangle my left arm. And so here I'm just making any sort of swishy movements that feel good. And then I'm going to do a little circling, a little firm across the belly, really letting the weight of the arm hang, and then going the opposite way as well. Trying not to put tension into the back of my neck. Nice and firm across the feet. And then when you're ready, coming all the way back to upright, just observing the difference between the two sides of the body. That feels much better on that side. And then we can do the same on the other side. Left foot forward, right foot back, bending at the knees, sliding the hips back, left hand on left thigh, dangle the right arm down, wiggle anything that feels good, wiggling, give it a real good shuggle about, and then circling this arm. Last time we had classes in person, I think we did this with windowsills. You can lean onto anything that feels good. When you're ready, rotating in the opposite direction, that arm really dangling. Keeping your breath nice and soft. Coming back to center when you're ready, pressing into the feet, stand upright, just checking that both of the Arms feel good, but there's maybe a sense of release across the chest and the upper back as well. So let us come to lying down on the mat. Now, earlier I asked you to have a bolster ready to hand, but if you don't have a bolster, you could have a rolled up blanket or cushions or a pillow, something that lets you elevate your body from, or support the body from the bottom of the spine to the back of the head. We are going to also put on any extra layers that you fancy having, and you can also have your blanket to hand. I know that we're half an hour from the end of class, but we're moving in that direction, so you might like it close by so you don't have to disorganize yourself to find it later. So we're trying to create a sense, an elevated support. We want something higher underneath the head than we have at the bottom end or the hip end of this support underneath the body. And it could be just a rolled blanket, that's fine. And we're going to sit so that we bring our bodies right up against the base of that support and lie down. I've got my legs crossed, but you could have your feet on the floor. That's just how I've ended up in it today. As we lie down across the support, we're allowing the shoulders and the sides of the body to fall towards the floor. The back of the head feels really safe and secure here, so the back of the neck can switch off. We can find a little bit of easing through our muscles there. You want to start with your feet on the floor and just give yourself an opportunity to get here. Now, sometimes when we arrive in this position, the low back doesn't feel super comfortable. And if that's the case, you can actually place a block or a cushion underneath your hips, which will lift your hips up a little bit. And that helps to support the low back where it is instead of forcing it to go where you would like it to go. If we haven't done movements like this for a while, our bodies are sometimes just a little bit needing a sense of ease to get there. If it feels good to have your knees bent, then you might like to extend the legs long and find if that works for you. And if it does, that's great. It's a little bit more restful for the hip flexors, so we get a better sense of open across the abdomen and the front of the pelvis. Closing your eyes if you're able to do so. Taking a moment just to tune into how your body feels right now. Feeling any areas that feel perhaps a little bit overused. That's entirely possible, first session of the year. And after a break. Perhaps noticing if there was a little bit more compassion needed in your practice today, but without judging. Just observing so that we can do better next time. Then take your awareness to the sensations in the body. Feel the back of the head, the space between the shoulder blades, across the spine, the back of the pelvis, the buttocks, the backs of the legs, the heels of the feet, and the backs of the hands here. Feel that sense of heaviness, of grounding, support. Move your awareness to the places of openness, spaciousness, across the sides of the body, across the throats, the collarbones, across the space underneath the rib cage, the abdomen. maybe even the tops of the feet. Maybe even the crown of the head. Tune into your breath. Allow your breath to fall into a slow, steady rhythm. Each exhalation softening the effort in the body. Really softening across the forehead and the jaw and the fronts of the shoulders. At the end of your next exhalation, just preparing to move. If you have your legs extended, you could bend the knees and draw the soles of the feet to the floor. And here we can begin to prepare the belly muscles for sliding off our support. We just want to be really graceful and gentle. Move the support to one side to roll onto our backs so the feet bent. The knees are bent, the feet are on the floor, and we find a much more neutral shape against the floor. Maybe even rolling the head from side to side, easing any effort or restriction and tension out of the back of the neck. Now, this next practice you can do over a bolster or over a block. It doesn't matter which. A bolster's a little bit higher, and so for some people that might be useful if you enjoy back bending, if your body enjoys that. And a block might be a little bit better if you prefer to be lower down. So we are going to take the support that we're using, block or bolster, underneath the hips. So just where you are, lifting the hips up, sliding it underneath the body. So the back of the pelvis is supported, and now we've got a little bit stronger connection with the back of the head and the backs of the shoulders into the floor. You can have your arms doing whatever feels good to you. And we just begin with the supported bridge pose. I find that if my feet are quite close to my body, with my buttocks, then it's not as restful on the backs of the legs. So you might like to explore sliding your feet just a little bit, maybe half a foot's length away from where they would normally fall in bridge pose, and seeing if that feels good to you. If you are using a block, you want to make sure that the boniest bit of the back of the pelvis is supported. With a bolster, you've got much wider support. You might even feel it into the bottom of the rib cage, that soft space across the low back, above the back of the pelvis, maybe into the back of the buttocks as well, the top of the buttocks. Allow your body to arrive here. Feel a sense of heavy release towards the floor. If you wish to, you can extend your left leg away from you so that the left leg is lengthened with the heel on the floor. feeling a sense of open across the left side of the pelvis, maybe into the bottom of the abdomen, maybe feeling a slightly stronger connection in the back of the body. If this feels good, bend your right knee in and catch hold of the right shin or knee with the right hand if you're able to. If not, just leave it free in the air. If this feels like just a movement too far, take the right foot back to the floor. Spend a moment really making sure that you're not asking more of your body than your body is comfortable to give. You might like to use both hands to move the right knee into the chest and just gently tap the left heel to the floor. Pivoting on the support behind you. When you're ready, you can let the left heel find the floor again. Relax the right foot down to the floor as well. Gently slide the left foot in, so both feet are now on the floor, knees bent, and you're back to your neutral bridge pose. Sliding the right foot away to support the right heel on the floor. The right leg nice and long, feeling that sense of open down the right side of the front of the body. Take a few moments to make sure this feels good to you. If you prefer to have both knees bent, feet on the floor, stick with a supported bridge in its center. If not, bending the left knee into the chest, grabbing hold of it with your left hand if you can. It could actually be underneath the thigh. It's sometimes easier to reach there, but shin or knee if it feels comfortable. Feel that sense of increased contact across the back of the body with your support. Increased sense of length and space across the front of the body. Make sure that this feels good before moving to another stage. If not, take your left foot back down to the floor. If it feels good, holding with both hands if you can, gently drawing the left knee in and out of the chest, in towards the chest, out again, to tap the right foot to the floor. So effectively keeping the body in exactly the same shape, but pivoting on the support behind us. When you're ready, you can release the left knee, taking the left foot to the floor and sliding the right foot all the way in to find your supported bridge again. Taking a moment here, a deep breath in, a soft, gentle breath out. And then from here, you can work into legs up the wall. So coming down and taking legs up the wall. Or if you don't wish to do legs up the wall for relaxation, you can bend both knees into your chest, keeping your hips up on your support, and then lifting the feet up into the air. So we do a little supported shoulder stand pose here. So legs up the wall is a great alternative if you don't like being freestanding in the air. And what we want to do here is make sure that the weight of our legs is over the hips. So your legs don't have to be straight. You can bend your knees, just feeling the weight of the legs fall into that centered, supported place. And here we can also do a little bit of checking that we're not holding tension in the feet. So we're rolling the feet at the ankles a few times. Maybe wriggling your toes a few times. Maybe turning the soles of the feet as if you were waving them at the ceiling so that we roll the thigh bones and the hip sockets a few times. And then if you wish to, you can have your legs closer together. And if you wish to, you can have your legs further apart. It doesn't matter here. If your legs are further apart, you can hold your inner thighs for a little bit of support. I know it feels counterintuitive. You feel like you should hold the outer thighs, and holding the inner thighs helps the inner thighs release a little bit. Sometimes we've got a bit of tension there from our horse stance goddess poses earlier. A couple of deeper breaths. If your legs are wide, sliding your hands to the outsides of the legs and pressing them towards each other. If your legs are up the wall, then you can stay where you are, but bringing the hips down to the floor if they're not already there. If you're freestanding, just bending your knees into your chest a little. And here, if you're up on a bolster, you can actually press the bolster out from underneath you so your hips slide to the floor. And then taking the bolster underneath the backs of the knees for Shavasana. I realize I'm here with the blanket in the wrong place, so I'm just going to draw that towards me with a foot or two. As I say, if you prefer to do legs up the wall for relaxation, please feel free to take that option. We're organizing ourselves so that we can find that sense of heavier contact with more of the body on the floor. Perhaps here, as you arrive in the position that you've chosen, we can do a little gentle turn of the head from side to side. Keeping the weight of the head on the floor, just allowing a little bit of movement to ease any residual tension out of the back of the neck, that space between the shoulder blades. When you're ready, coming back to center, making any final adjustments. Perhaps your palms are turned upwards, perhaps the elbows are bent with the hands resting on the abdomen. When you are ready, bringing your body to stillness, closing your eyes if you haven't already done so. Take this moment to arrive into your relaxation pose. Again, noticing how your body feels. Can you already begin to feel your body softening, releasing, feeling an ease after that sense of strength and movement? We have the ability to hold a deeper stillness after vigorous practice. Taking a deep breath in, gently sighing out through the mouth. Repeating 3 more times, a deep breath in. As you sigh, let all the effort of your practice go. Deep breath in. As you sigh, let your muscles begin to relax. Deep breath in. As you sigh, surrender down into your mat. Allow your breath to find its natural rhythm and fall into quietness. Take your awareness to your forehead. Feel it soften. Feel the area around your eyes releasing. Your mouth, tongue, jaw, relaxing. Allow your awareness to rest in the back of your body. Become aware of all of the parts at the back of the body in contact with the floor, or your bolster, or the wall. Feel the back of the head, back of the shoulders, shoulder blades, arms and hands. Feel the back of the rib cage, the buttocks, the heels of your feet. Experience that sensation of contact between your body and the floor or wall. Move your awareness to all the parts of the back of the body not in contact with the floor. The back of the neck, the wrists, perhaps your low back, the space where the thighs meet the buttocks, the Achilles, and the soles of your feet. Experience the sensation of space between your body and the floor. Allow the whole of the back of the body to feel heavy, warm, supported, and softening down. Move your awareness to the front of your body, releasing any residual tension from your face. Feeling the space over you and around you. Feel the weight and the warmth of your blanket. Feel the gentle movement of your body as you breathe. Tune into your breath. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest, your ribs. Feel your body relax a little deeper with every exhalation. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Bring your awareness back into your hands and your feet by moving your fingers, your toes, maybe rolling wrists and ankles. When you feel ready, take a long, deep breath in and stretch the body in any way that feels good. Maybe lengthening one side and then the other. Maybe yawning. Stretch across your face. When you feel ready, you might gather your knees into your chest and hug them towards you. If you are at the wall, give yourself a little bit more space. Gently rocking from side to side or making circling motions to massage the low back and the low ribs into the floor a few more times. Maybe also in the other direction. Maybe gentle twist through the body, head one way, knees the other, still holding onto the knees just to make the movements small. In your own time, find your way onto one side. Doesn't matter which side. Just curling up for a moment. So your body comes round a little bit at a time. Your eyes still gently closed. When you feel ready, coming into any comfortable upright position, taking a moment to reorientate yourself with gravity, resting the hands together over the center of the chest or palms together at the chest. Lengthen through the back of the body, a gentle lift, and bow your chin towards your chest. Take this moment to notice your deeper sense of ease and peace and calm. And imagine yourself as a beacon of these energies in the environment around you. So within your homes, within your families, within your communities, within the world. Give yourself that gentle smile, knowing that these ripples of peace and calm will travel out from you, through you, but out from you into the wider world throughout the week to come. When you're ready, raising your head and opening your eyes. Thank you very much for joining in our first practice of this year. And I hope you've enjoyed it. And I hope that you feel that deeper sense of calm going forward as well. Namaste.